Imagine planning that perfect family trip. You know, the one where everyone, toddlers, grandparents, everyone finds something amazing, where the scenery just takes your breath away, and crucially, you actually feel like you know what you're doing. Well, today we're taking a deep dive into making that happen right here in Michigan. We're exploring how to craft a really unforgettable family trip, focusing on those stunning Lake Michigan beaches and, of course, the wild, rich Upper Peninsula.
Yeah, and for this deep dive, our insights are coming from, well, a mix of sources. We've got real-world experiences shared by travelers on Reddit, plus detailed info straight from Michigan's Department of Natural Resources, the DNR, and some comprehensive travel guides, too.
Right. So our mission today is pretty clear. Distill the absolute best bits, the key takeaways from all that information. We want to help you plan a trip that hits that sweet spot, relaxation, adventure, accessibility, local charm, making sure everyone in your family, even, those with specific mobility needs, has a fantastic time without feeling totally overwhelmed. All right, so let's unpack this. First things first. Timing. When is the absolute best time to visit Michigan? Especially if you're looking for that great weather and, a vibrant scenery.
Well, what's interesting here is that Michigan offers a pretty ideal window for outdoor adventures. Primarily, you're looking between May and October. The Great Lakes have this huge influence, keeping the climate quite agreeable, actually. Peak season, that's May to July. You get warmer weather, daytime temps around 69 to 89 Fahrenheit. July is typically the hottest. But evenings get significantly cooler, like down to 44, 59 F, so layers.
Layers. Always layers in Michigan.
Right, exactly. Then August, you see fishing picking up, temps still around 80 F. But September and October, that's prime time for fall colors. September highs can hit 75 F. This period is just renowned for spectacular foliage. You get about 5-6 hours of sunshine daily, though. Expect some light rain and clouds. It's common.
Okay, so late September, mid-October for those peak fall colors sounds like a must-see. But beyond the calendar, what about those, administrative details? What's a key thing visitors need to know up front?
Yes. This brings up a really important point about access and planning ahead. You need to know about the recreation passport. It's required for vehicle entry into all state parks, state campgrounds, state forest campgrounds, and, well, tons of trailheads and boating access sites, too.
So it's not just for state parks, it's much broader.
Much broader. You can sometimes get a day pass, sure, but honestly, getting the annual recreation passport, often when you renew your Michigan vehicle registration, is the way to go. It's a critical piece for accessing these amazing natural spots smoothly.
Got it. Recreation passport. Okay, now let's dive into those Lake Michigan beaches. We heard from a listener planning for a big group, 10 people, including 2 kids under 5, a pregnant family member, and retired grandparents. They need options within about 45 minutes of Grand Rapids. So easy walks from parking, less crowded scenes, convenient lunch spots, those are the top priorities. What fits the bill?
Right. That's a classic challenge. Balancing accessibility with avoiding, the big party scene. And the Reddit community had some really practical suggestions here. Okay, top recommendation for accessibility and amenities seemed to be Pere Marquette in Muskegon. High praise for that one. It's got a close walk from the parking lot, a playground right on the beach, which is great for the little ones, and the deck.
The deck? What's that?
It's a restaurant and outdoor music lounge with yard games literally on the beach. People noted it's generally less busy than Grand Haven or Holland. Heads up, though, parking isn't free, and on really busy days, finding a spot can still be tricky.
Okay, Pere Marquette. What else?
North Beach Park in Ferrisburg, described as having the easiest beach to walk off of. Short and flat, parking's very close, bathrooms right there, similar setup to state parks. You do have to pay if you're an out-of-towny resident, though, and access to restaurants is similar to Grand Haven.
Easy walk, close parking. Sounds promising.
Definitely. Oval Beach also got mentioned. Great parking, small boardwalk out to the beach. Someone called it probably the easiest, honestly. But interestingly, another user found it tough logistically, so maybe it depends on the specific needs of the group or the day. Worth checking out, maybe.
Okay. A bit mixed on that one. Any others?
Yeah, Ross Park at Mona Lake. Called a hidden gem. The catch is you'd need to drive about 5 minutes for food options.
Okay, so Pere Marquette and North Beach Park seem like the strongest contenders for this multi-generational group. Now, what about the really popular spots? The ones people always talk about, but maybe aren't ideal for this specific situation?
Right, good point. Holland and Grand Haven state parks, everyone knows them. They're flat, easy access to restaurants, sure. But Reddit users explicitly called them out as the most crowded, and Grand Haven was described as a party scene, so Probably not the vibe they're looking for.
Yeah, definitely not for a relaxed family day.
And watch out for some Ottawa County parks like Tunnel and Kirk. You might have to deal with smaller hills to traverse or stairs. Kirk Park stairs specifically can be killer with small kids and retirees.
Oof, killer stairs. Noted.
Also, Hoffmaster State Park. It's beautiful, no doubt, but there's a significant hike to and from the parking lot and bathrooms. Not recommended for groups with mobility challenges. Even Muskegon State Park, the walk from the lot, while fairly flat, is described as a bit longer and could still be a bit of a struggle for some grandparents. And you'd need to drive for food.
Wow, that's incredibly helpful detail. It really paints a picture of the access challenges. But shifting gears slightly, I heard something really unique. A place where kids can actually swim under a waterfall. Is that for real?
Oh, it's absolutely real. And it is, well, pretty magical. It's at Lower Tuckwamenon Falls. You can swim right in the pool, go under the cascades, even get behind the falls in some spots. People described it as just an amazing experience for kids.
Wow.
It offers a totally different kind of water experience compared to the big lake beaches. Imagine the photos, the memories.
That sounds incredible. Okay, so we've covered beaches, unique swimming. I'm really excited to get into the wild side now. The Upper Peninsula, the UP, it always feels like a whole different world up there.
Yeah.
What are the unmissable natural wonders we should know about?
Well, one of the truly remarkable things about the UP is how budget-friendly it can be for experiencing just jaw-dropping natural beauty. You often get free or low-cost access to these incredible sites. It's not all expensive attractions.
That's great to hear. So what kind of wonders are we talking about?
Waterfalls. The UP has over 150 named waterfalls, and many are surprisingly accessible with paved trails, boardwalks. Upper Tuckwamenon Falls near Paradise, that's a big one. 50 feet high, 200 feet wide. Paved trails, boardwalks, multiple overlooks really well set up.
The root beer falls, right, because of the tannins.
That's the one. Then out west, Bond Falls, known for its wide cascading flow and a fully accessible boardwalk, really beautiful. And if you like a bit of a hike through the forest, Miners Falls and Chapel Falls within Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore are fantastic rewards.
Pictured Rocks, definitely on the list. Any other waterfall hotspots?
Oh yeah, the Black River Scenic Byway. It's about a 14-mile route, and it packs in 5 impressive waterfalls, Great Conglomerate, Gorge, Sandstone, Rainbow. And importantly, Potawatomi Falls on that route is barrier-free, so fully accessible.
5 falls on one short drive. Nice. Okay, beyond waterfalls, what about trails? Michigan's known for trails, right?
Thousands of miles. Hiking, biking, ORV riding, that's off-road vehicle, snowmobiling, snowshoeing, horseback riding, cross-country skiing. You name it. And accessibility is a growing focus. Many trails and scenic sites have paved paths. Plus, the DNR offers track chairs at several parks.
Track chairs, like all-terrain wheelchairs.
Exactly. They allow access to areas traditional wheelchairs just can't reach: beaches, rougher trails. It's a fantastic program.
That's brilliant.
And for ORV enthusiasts, keep an eye out for the 2 free ORV weekends each year, usually early June and mid-August. Residents and visitors can ride designated trails without needing a license or permit.
Good tip. Any specific trails worth highlighting?
Sure. Near Marquette, the 9-mile Big Bay Pathway is popular. There's also the 25-mile Hermansville to Escanaba multipurpose rail trail. And for a unique view, especially fall colors, check out Copper Peak. You get this 360-degree panorama.
Okay, waterfalls, trails. What about after dark? I've heard the UP skies or something else.
Oh, absolutely. The stargazing is incredible. The skies are exceptionally dark up there. You just see so many stars. And from about August through April, you even have a decent chance of spotting the northern lights, the aurora borealis.
Wow, the northern lights in Michigan.
Yeah.
Where are the best spots for stargazing?
Top spots include the Keweenaw International Dark Sky Park, specifically Brockway Mountain, also Autrain Beach, Miners Castle at Pictured Rocks, Whitefish Point, and Miners Beach. Really dark, queer views.
Amazing. So much natural beauty. But Michigan, especially the UP, isn't just nature, right? It's steeped in history and culture, too. How do we make that history come alive for a diverse group, make it engaging for everyone, from kids to grandparents?
That's a great question. And the sources highlight several places that do a really good job of bringing the past to life, making it more than just dates and facts. Think maritime and engineering marvels. The Sioux Locks and Sault Ste. Marie are a must-see. Watching those huge freighters, international ships, and lake boats pass through is surprisingly fascinating.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite something.
The viewing platform is great, but taking a boat tour through the locks, that's highly recommended for the full experience. Then there's the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum at Whitefish Point. really powerful exhibits. They even have a lifeboat recovered from the Edmund Fitzgerald wreck.
Wow. The Edmund Fitzgerald. That's heavy.
It is. The whole site, with the lake station and keeper's quarters, gives you this deep respect for Lake Superior and its maritime history. It's open until October 31st, by the way.
Good to know. Any other maritime history?
The Valley Camp Museum ship, also in Sault Ste. Marie, is worth a visit. It complements the Shipwreck Museum, actually has its own Edmund Fitzgerald exhibit. Just a heads up, though, it's an actual ship, so the museum inside isn't handicap accessible. Lots of stairs and tight spaces.
Okay, important accessibility note there. What about historical towns or indigenous culture?
Definitely check out the Museum of Ojibwe Culture in St. Ignace. Highly recommended for learning about indigenous history and presence in the region. And Fayette Historic State Park and Town Site. It's this preserved iron-smelting town from the 1800s, now basically a ghost town. You can spend a good half day exploring the buildings, walking trails along the bluff. It's really atmospheric.
The ghost town. Cool. What about the mining history? That's huge in the UP, right?
Absolutely. The Keweenaw National Historical Park in Calumet is the place to start. Their visitor center points you to over 20 different heritage sites, all related to the copper mining boom, tells the stories of the communities built around it. And the Iron County Historical Museum in Caspian is the UP's largest local museum. Over 100 exhibits on iron mining and logging spread across 26 buildings. It's quite expensive.
26 buildings. Wow. Any more interactive history experiences? Or maybe something a bit quirky?
For interactive, the Adventure Mining Company in Greenland offers an easy walking tour underground. But if you're feeling adventurous, they also offer options like rappelling down a mine shaft or even trying drilling and blasting.
Rappelling down a mine shaft. Okay, maybe not for the grandparents.
Probably not. For quirky art, there's Laketon Land Sculpture Park. It's this cool outdoor park filled with sculptures made from reclaimed scrap metal and wood. Fun for photos. And relatively new, near the Cine Wildlife Refuge, is Benny the Beardfisher. It's one of those giant troll sculptures by the artist Thomas Dambo, a whimsical stop.
A giant troll. The kids would love that. Okay, this is all fantastic information. Waterfalls, beaches, history, trolls. So let's pull it all together. What did this actually mean for planning the trip? How do you ensure it's smooth, enjoyable, especially with a big, mixed group like our listeners?
Right. Practical planning is absolutely key here, especially with diverse ages and mobility levels. The Reddit feedback gave some really invaluable ground-level advice on this. One smart approach for a large group. Plan flexible days, let families kind of split up during the day and go do their thing and then come back to the house in the evening. Less pressure to keep everyone together constantly.
That makes a lot of sense. Avoids the herding cats problem.
Exactly. And manage travel time realistically. This is crucial in the UP. Things can be spread out. For instance, if your home base is somewhere like Moran in the eastern UP, getting to Munising for pictured rocks, that's a drive, as one Redditor put it. You might actually want to consider dedicating a whole separate trip for the central or western UP sites. Trying to cram it all in can just, run yourself and the kids ragged.
Good point. Don't underestimate the distances.
Mm.
What about that cool-sounding spring, Kitchity Kippy?
Ugh, the big spring. It's beautiful with that self-propelled raft. But be aware, you might face a 40-minute wait for a 10-minute ride. So factor that wait time in. Especially with impatient little ones, you have to ask if it's worth it for your group dynamic.
40 minutes, wait for 10 minutes ride.
Mm.
Okay. That's a key piece of info. What about booking places to stay? Any tips there?
Book early. Especially
Wow.
if you're aiming for popular times like peak fall color season, September to mid-October or summer, things fill up fast. Also, just a heads up, starting August 1st, 2025, the DNR is adjusting fees for modern and semi-modern campsites and all their overnight lodging like cabins and lodges, so prices might change a bit.
Okay, book early, be aware of potential fee changes. Got it. Now, after all that exploring food, what are the must-try local eats and reliable spots for a family?
Okay, first things first, pasties. You absolutely have to try a pasty, especially in the UP. It's that iconic meat and potato turnover, perfect fuel. Muldoon's and Munising got high marks on Reddit for having various types, traditional, chicken, veggie, even fruit pasties.
Pasties. Check. Where else? What about those popular spots?
Well, like the Tacomenon Falls Brewery and Pub, it's unique being the only brewery on Michigan state land. But the feedback was it can get overrun with long waits. A good alternative. Check for food trucks in the nearby town of Paradise. Having a backup plan for popular spots is always smart.
Good tip. Food trucks are lifesavers sometimes. What about back near the Lake Michigan beaches?
Remember the deck on Pere Marquette Beach in Muskegon? Lunch and live music right on the sand. Hard to beat that location. In St. Ignace, Mackinac Grill has great views of the lighthouse and the ferries from its outdoor seating. Plus, there's a cute double-decker bus selling ice cream nearby and apparently fireworks on Saturdays at Bridge Park.
Double-decker ice cream. Fun, musing area.
For brunch, early birds was recommended. And Froggy's in the little town of Christmas, just outside Munising, is a fun local joint. Up in Grand Marais, there's the Dune Saloon, a microbrewery that also serves good food.
Okay, lots of options. What about Sault Ste. Marie or Mackinac City?
In Sault Ste. Marie, Gino's fired-up kitchen for traditional Italian. Antler's restaurant is famous for its quirky taxidermy decor. Historically popular, maybe less so now, but still an experience. In Mackinac City, the Rusted Spoke is a brew pub with good food. And generally, Mackinac City was suggested as having a lot more to check out than St. Ignace if you're just doing a day visit.
Interesting comparison. And what about popping over the border?
Yeah, someone mentioned crossing into Canadian Sault Ste. Marie. Apparently, it offers much more geographical features nearby, like waterfalls and cliffs. It's a larger city with a solid food culture. Just expect prices to be maybe 20–30% higher generally, although, depending on the exchange rate, it could actually end up cheaper for U.S. visitors. Worth checking.
Okay, lots of food for thought there. We'll definitely link all those recommendations in our show notes. Any final essential practical tips, things people might not think of?
Yes, a few really specific practical things came up. If you happen to be staying in Moran, ask if your rental has a water softener. If not, the advice was bring water, enough for drinking and cooking. Apparently, the local water can be quite hard and affect the taste of things like coffee or tea.
Oh, that's a very specific but useful tip. What else?
Beach safety. Those beaches along US 2 between Brevard and Epiphet look gorgeous, sandy beach that stretches for miles. But there have been recent bad accidents, and the traffic along US 2 there can be scary. So maybe not the safest for family swimming right off the highway. A better bet might be the Lake Michigan campground picnic area just a few minutes further west. The water's reportedly much cleaner there, and the access is safer.
Okay, safety first. That's crucial.
Also, if you swim in inland lakes like Brevard Lake, it's worth asking locally about swimmers' itch conditions before you jump in. It can sometimes be an issue. And a standard Michigan camping rule: don't move firewood. Buy it where you burn it to prevent spreading invasive insects like the emerald ash borer.
Right, buy local firewood. Got it.
And finally, just reiterate that the Michigan DNR website is a great resource for accessibility information, accessible beaches, bathrooms, playgrounds, fishing piers, those track chairs we mentioned, even accessible cabins and lodges. Plus, they offer accessibility permits.
Wow. That was just an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from pinpointing those perfect family-friendly beaches near Grand Rapids to uncovering hidden waterfalls in the UP, diving into the rich history, and getting really practical tips for making the whole trip run smoothly. I feel like, you're now truly informed, ready to skip the overwhelm and jump straight to the fun part, the actual adventure.
Absolutely. And if we connect all this back, what really stands out is Michigan's incredible diversity, but also its growing focus on accessibility. By using these community insights, like the Reddit threads, and understanding the practical details from sources like the DNR, you're not just ticking places off a list. You're actually crafting experiences tailored to your family, whatever their needs or interests. It's that critical thinking about the info, not just consuming it, that makes the difference.
So true. It empowers you to make better choices for your own trip. Okay, before we wrap up, time for a final provocative thought. As you plan your Michigan adventure, consider this. How might deliberately seeking out some of Michigan's local hidden gems, the smaller museums, the lesser-known trails, the local pasty shop, and really connecting with its rich history rather than just hitting the main tourist spots? How might that lead to unexpected aha moments, and maybe a deeper appreciation for the unique spirit of the Great Lakes state?